It's Thursday, 11 o'clock, and it's time for this week's watch drop. You know, there are some days when I wake up on a Thursday morning, definitely not Tuesday, and I look down at this table and I think, I've got the best job in the world. This table, this layout here, is a collection of some of the best watches that we've sold at Subdial. They might not be the most expensive, they might not be the most rare, but they are a collection of superb, Grail-worthy watches that I've never seen before in part. And I'm really excited to talk about them today. So that's the theme today. It's Grail-worthy watches. And the first one I'm going to pick up is this beautiful Lange 1 reference 192066. Why is it special? It just looks like a normal Lange 1. Well, if you know the details of Lange's, then you'll notice that this has got all of the greatest hits of the Lange 1 built into it. Firstly, the number that was produced is only 25 pieces. This is a very rare Lange. Even with watches like the Darth and the Stealth, they made hundreds of them. It's not a big number really when it comes to worldwide watchmaking, but an edition of 25 is extremely limited. I might have said this before, but the reference 027X, which is the white gold Lange one with the blued hands, is one of my favourites. It's a really great watch, and it looks exactly the same as the steel edition that was released long ago, and it's very rare and goes for hundreds of thousands of pounds. Well, this watch has the same detail. It has the blued hands, but it also has blued printed text on the dial. On top of that, you've got the most amazing blue in a Moonphase that's added to the small seconds. The 25th anniversary for Lange, the brand chose to focus on two colours, silver and blue, and those two colours are absolutely the focus for this watch. The blue pops so vibrantly against the silver dial, it's incredible. Even actually, I've just noticed the date window has blue text in it as well, and it's this really beautiful light blue. It's not a dark, it's kind of vibrant and exciting and electric. It's got one more party piece to it. It's not just about the blued colours, but also about this fantastic engraved balance cock. I focused on that too much, didn't I? Let's say that again. When you turn the watch over, there's one more party piece to this, and it's the engraved and lacquered balance cock. Usually, these are engraved uniquely for each watch that's produced. You never really get two that are exactly the same. Some are very similar, but you can tell actually who was the engraver because of the style of the balance cock. Now, this watch also has a 25 cut into it, and it's lacquered over the top. So I'm going to ask the videographer to focus on that so you can see it, because it's absolutely incredible. It's the smallest detail, but wow, it looks fantastic. It's just such a rare thing, and it's so beautiful. And I don't know if you had one of these, whether you'd really need any other Lange in your collection, because it's the best. It certainly wears the best. In the summer sunlight, the blue pops. It just makes me feel happy. It's a great thing. Really rare. I never thought I'd see one, and I'm so pleased that we've got one into stock. I'm going to move on to the next Grail piece, and it's another Lange. It's a very special one. This is the Saxonia Perpetual Calendar in white gold, actually grey gold, because it hasn't got any rhodium plating. And if you remember last week, we had a very similar watch in yellow gold, but it had a button at the 10 o'clock position to change the day and move everything forward one day. Now, this is an updated movement. It's a boutique-only piece, so it has this fantastic black dial with, it's satinated, but it also has just so much more texture than I'm used to seeing on these dials. It's a fantastic, fantastic thing. So whilst this isn't a limited edition per se, it was a limited production. It was only made for a couple of years. If you, like me, like the Lange 1 Darth, and you like that sort of dark, I guess understated presence of the watch, anything by Lange with a black dial really resonates with me. This is something that you're going to want to have a look at. Not only does it have the Moonphase with that lovely blue, it's not the same blue as actually the anniversary Lange one we've just spoken about. It's a more subdued blue that really matches and pairs well with the black dial. I just think this has all the characteristics of being a one watch collection. It is robust. Langes are made and they're reassembled twice. Everyone talks about this, but it really does speak to the fact that these things are built to last. You can bash this around on a day-to-day basis, and even if it gets marked up, you can send it back to Glass Shooter and they will bring it back to this condition. It really is one hell of a contender for a one watch collection. I really want it. Surprise, surprise. It wears so well, and these watches retail at such a high value, but on the pre-owned market, it's probably half the retail price. If you watch these videos, you'll know that it's rare that I'm lost for words, but actually I kind of am with this thing. I don't know what more to say other than it just works. It's a fantastic piece of watchmaking, a great value proposition at that price point. There's a lot of watch for the money, and it's just exquisitely finished. It's a fantastic thing. Do check it out. You'll see. It's a fantastic watch, I promise. I'm going to move on now to one of my current favourite brands, which is Parmigiani Floria. I say that it's one of my favourite brands only because I'm just going through this voyage of discovery of it, really. A couple of years ago when they brought out their new Tondas, I was really interested by the modern version of the brand, and it made me look back at their back catalogue. And you'll have seen a few watches that have come to stock recently with the Ionica and another Toric, and really, really fantastic watches. But if there is one Parmigiani that I could pick of everything that they've produced, it's this, and I'll explain why. It's a Toric in platinum with a tourbillon. The tourbillon is at the 6 o'clock position on the front of the watch, and it takes front center position, and I can absolutely see why. When I look at Parmigiani, I struggle to see how the values are where they are, considering the amount of watchmaking that goes into them. This, believe it or not, retailed at 300,000 USD when it came out in the early 2000s. 300,000. Now, this watch is, I think, on the secondary market, about £50,000, something like that. And it feels expensive. You look at every single detail and it's perfection. The tourbillon itself and the bridge that holds the tourbillon is so beautifully finished. I really love the blued javelin hands against the Geneva stripes on the main plate, which is actually the dial itself. The indices are actually on the rehort inside the sapphire, so you don't really see them. And I think that's great because all of the real estate is left to the watch itself. What's really important about this thing, it is the upper echelon of finishing. I don't know why it needed a sapphire case back, because it's very minimalist on the back, which is fine, it's fine, but the front is where it's at. This watch has got an incredible case with 3 steps to it. It's got an incredible tourbillon, which is not normally a characteristic that I love, but this watch is all about celebrating that complication. Then it has a very, very minimalist Parmigiani badge at 12 o'clock. And everything else just, it's incredible. It really is. I sort of struggled to think of the reasons why this isn't a watch that's going for 6 figures, particularly given the original retail price. And I think, actually, if you were to put a FB Journe badge on the front, then this watch would absolutely be £500,000. It's every bit as good as an FB Journe. The watchmaking caliber is fantastic, the rarity's there, but I think it's lacking the brand strength. And I think that's really sad. And I really hope that in time, someone will come along and make Parmigiani stand front and center with FB Journe, with Patek, with Lange, as a brand that really knows watchmaking. This is a special watch and it's so undervalued. I really hope that I see more of them, frankly. And I really hope to see those values go up because I think it really deserves it. Next up is the last dress watch that I'm going to talk about today. And for me, it's another Grail. This is the Patek 130. And it's a watch that was brought out at a similar time to the 96, which is a watch that I've talked about time and time again and I adore. It's the first Calatrava. This is a 1950s example of the 130. And the case size, because it's a chronograph, has grown a little bit over the 96. It's a 33mm case diameter. And because of the pushers, it wears a little bit bigger. And because it has those Calatrava lugs that are long and thin, it wears a little bit bigger too. So if you were to put it on your wrist, and my wrist is about 18 centimeters, it really presents more like a 35, 36, but it is objectively a beautiful watch. It has the vintage aesthetic. It is a vintage watch. It has perfect symmetry. It has that vintage typeface and the 12 and the 6 and the indices. And one thing that I love about this watch, particularly under these lights, is you can see that the subdials are one gold and one blue. And the chronograph hand is blue and the hour and minute hands are gold. And I just think that that's just a lovely balance. It's kind of a playful shift in colours against the sort of, it's almost salmon-y, beigey background. Oh, it's an incredible thing. The case is really sharp. It's been polished, but it's still got hallmarks and it reflects the light in all the right ways. And actually, interestingly, this watch has had a refinished dial on it. The dial is original, but it's been prettied up. And you might say that that's a shame, but actually that creates an even more of a sort of value proposition. The watchmaking is exactly the same, but you have a much more compelling price point. So you can get into this watch at the same value as the Langes that we've been talking about. And I think that's really great because it's absolutely an icon in the annals of Patek Philippe and just watchmaking as a whole. It's always been a Grail piece for me. I love it. And there will come a time when these things are very sought after. And right now, it hasn't taken off in the same way that other references have, but it will because it's stunning. It's a stunning, stunning watch. And I really like it in the light. Oh, what a watch. What a great value proposition. Now, any Grail watch collection must have some sports watches in there. Watches that you can wear every day, not worry about waterproofing, not worry about dropping them and damaging something in the movement. And when I think about dress watches that I would really go for, that are a little bit different, a little bit rare, still have the watchmaking chops, but they're not a Nautilus, they're not a Royal Oak. Roman Gauthier and the C is absolutely top 5 watches for me in that space. I'll explain why. This is an edition 5. So several series of these were produced. The first one being black case with red. This is the 5th edition. It's in titanium with this incredible white gold reflective stamped dial? Oof, don't know. But it's a titanium case. And when you put it on, I kid you not, it is the most comfortable watch I have ever worn. Ever. I've tried a lot of watches. This thing is like a second skin. It's wonderful. So what do I really like about it? Not just the comfort. The caliber in the back is insane. The finishing, the architecture is beautiful. There's still lots of free space in the case back. And I find that really interesting because you see that on a datograph, for instance, which is a very three-dimensional movement. But this watch is under 10 millimeters thick. So how they've created that free space is actually incredible. I love how on the front of the watch, the red features are brought out in contrast against the dial and the case. And actually that's the same of the back too. Instead of having a mix of blue screws and rubies, like you get on Langes and probably Parmigiani as well, yes, absolutely. With the Roman Gauthier, they've really focused on making the screws black polished, but celebrating the use of rubies in the movement, which has that sort of red contrast against the sort of silvery aesthetic of the movement itself. I could look at this movement for hours with a loop, and there aren't many manufacturers that I can say that about, particularly at the £30,000 price point. Lange, some Pateks, Parmigiani, and Roman Gauthier. That's a top 5 sports watch. It really, really is something special. And if you haven't tried it, come over to the clubhouse and give it a go because it's special. So that's this week's drop. A killer selection of watches, some of my all-time favourites. And I haven't managed to touch the surface on some of these things. We have a Milgauss 1019, which is such a great vintage Rolex watch. The case on that one is... We've also got a pistachio dial Oyster Perpetual, and we had a beige dial last week, so it's quite nice to see these new dials coming through to the market. And that one's a killer one. I put that on and wow, it's really good. Lots of watches. Go hit the website, check them out, and I'll see you next week.